Okay, I went over to the scrap bin, got me a piece of 1/4 inch plywood, went from corner to corner, put my center in there. I'm gonna use my pin nailer and shoot about 5 or 6 pins in there to hold it down, and that will probably hold it in pretty good shape, and then I'll carve on it. Alright, cut out the square. We'll go ahead and tell it to cut the holes, and so they'll be down into the table, and we'll do the drill mode next. I was using the drill profile toolpath. It's just using a drilling procedure to go down through there and drill that, and those take a long time. I went back and modified this to a profile toolpath, or just a pocket toolpath, I think is what it was. And it went down and just made it fit that, so I'm sure it was a pocket toolpath. Anyway, it's kind of funny, all the different things that you learn. That's fun about these things is you keep working at it and you keep honing your skills, and pretty soon you get it done. So let's move on to the correct procedure and watch that thing go to town. Drilling the holes the way it properly should have done. It's got the 1/8 inch holes that are 1/2 inch deep. And now if you go around here and see it's pocket done. So it's good enough. Now I need to cut a block of wood and put in there. Alright, I get my blocks in there and I know that they'll fit in from front to back and from side to side. Then I've got my deal, and sometimes they're a little tight. I'll just tap it down in there with a rubber mallet and get it to fit in there just fine. Alright, basically, so I just tap that in there. I've got a couple, 3 extras just in case I need to work on a little bit. These are maple, and it's in the jig. It's going to be doing basically down cutting, so there's really not too far for this thing to go. It's a tight enough snug that it's tougher than the CA glue, so it's pretty tight fit. And it's centered off of the jig, so that's the center of our piece of wood. The block's been centered, the jig's been centered, so everything works off the center, so that way it cuts. And I'm going to go ahead and do the drill of the holes, and then we'll start the ball nose. Alright, I was getting a little bit of coming up, this little bit of side-by-side action, and so when I was drilling that, it moved up on this one side, so I'll put the cams in there and we'll see how that works now. Okay, I took the block out, looked through the holes, they milled up. After flipping it over, they line up perfectly, so I know that's going to line up. My little cam actions are keeping this from coming up. I'm going to put the ball nose in there. I may need a smaller ball nose, but I don't have one smaller than that, I don't think. So we'll try the 1/8 inch and see what comes out. And there's my standby, so we'll see what happens to this thing after it goes to milling. So let's let it rip, Tater Chip. Alright, I'm going down through here and I'm milling this. I'm kind of learning as I go. I think this is my 3rd attempt at milling. I noticed that my resolution was not as good as I wanted it to be. It was doing it, but I needed a finer bit. And it's funny, as I went out and bought a new bit, and then I discovered that I had that very same bit in my original kit that I had overlooked, and that bit was $50. So anyway, now I have 2 of those bits, so there you go. But kind of a process, that. So we'll go on through this thing and let it cut it out. And it was kind of fun tackling this project. It was detailed. If I'd had a lathe, I could have turned this pretty quickly. A 4th axis would be nice as well. Okay, well there it is right there, and you can see the outline of it. So we'll just see what we can do with I don't quite got the detail there, but we'll see what we can do with it. Well, we got a broken bit out of it. That was 20 bucks. And I got hold of this. It basically came up like this, and like that, and then it cut out through the side, and it threw it and knocked a hole in the side of my box. So there you go. I'm going to put some screws in the next one. That's what I'm going to do. Okay, after this thing took off, These weren't enough. For some reason, that drill bit was biting, or that end mill was bringing them up. Probably because it's upcut. Anyway, probably wouldn't have had that problem if it was a down cut. Anyway, so now we're going to put the ball nose in there and give her a whirl. Alright, take number 2. This is my third block of wood. I had my bit slip on me on the other one, and after it had hit that one, I had got it off centered. So anyway, I re-zeroed it, and we'll flip this over and cut the other side. Okay, well, that one came out pretty good. On my deal in the middle, bottom down there, it didn't quite make it, but the one on the top held. So there's the back side of it. And I think I'm going to need a little sanding for sure, but we'll see what she looks like. Alright, this is attempt number 4. I did go down and pick up a 16th inch ball nose, spiral ball nose. And there's my first 2 or 3 attempts, with my 4th one being here. And we'll see what this one looks like here in a second. Okay, well, that new bit turned out pretty good. Let's turn it over and do the back side. Alright, well, after several tries, this is the original pawn here. And then as I worked through them, they got a little bit better and better. These have not been sanded to speak of. They have a little bitty CNC ridges on them. They need to be gone over with like a file brush or a little brush, and kind of cleaned up just a little bit. Some of them are a little bit rougher than others, but anyway, that's where I'm at. And you know, you could keep working with this and get it probably perfected, but after about the 6th cut, probably 8th cut, this is what I came up with. But you know, on any CNC project, you'll need to do a little sanding on it. This one right here, this needs to be cleaned up with a little emery cloth, and the details on it, you can see there, just a little bit of it like an emery board. And anyway, it'll be fine. If you're playing a game, you won't even be able to see much difference in them. So there it is. That was the work at hand. And there you go.